What's up, guys? This is Jimmy with HIFLY Strength Systems, and today I'm just going to be talking to you about my training for the week. And I have something else I want to kind of just discuss, but let me just go over what I actually did this week quickly. So I actually just basically did the same thing as I did last week, but I added a lot of volume. So I actually added like 2 sets of volume on almost every lift because last week was kind of like a max rep testing week. I did 5 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes, 10 rep maxes, and 8 rep maxes on certain lifts. So, as you see here, I'm doing 90% of my 10 rep max on squats, which is 265 pounds. You'll see me doing benching and deadlifting at similar amounts. My camera quality actually turned to shit on stiff-legged deadlifts, and I did 3 sets of 10 with 265 pounds as well, stiff-legged deadlifts, which those were a killer on my hamstrings. Okay, so let's get to the meat of this video. I'm sure you can watch the video and see what actual training I'm doing, but what I really want to talk about is how important it is to have a good set of people at your gym and a good training environment. I've talked about this in the past, but personally, it's one of the most important things in terms of how I can progress, especially on bench, maybe some of the higher rep volume stats on squats, because without somebody counting for me, I mean, I could definitely do it on my own, but it's a lot easier to just focus on the movement versus thinking, okay, I got 4 reps left, I got 3 reps left, and having that fatigue you in your head, I guess, mentally. Having other people help you and support you to continue allows you to push yourself harder than you would without taxing yourself further if you were alone, just because that mental fatigue really does build up throughout a workout. So, if someone's counting for me, I got 3 sets of 10 on squats, it's a lot easier than if I have to count each rep. I know it sounds silly, but to me it matters. And even more importantly is on bench. And you'll see here I have a bunch of singles. I think I did like 16 singles or something on bench. I was supposed to warm up to 5 or 10 pounds less. Actually, so 90% of my 3 rep max on bench, which was 245. So I was supposed to do a bunch of singles at 245, but I was supposed to warm up or do singles until RP 9.5, which means about failure essentially, or just close to failure, right? And it wasn't going anywhere. It was super quick every time. I had multiple spotters. The thing is, I've injured my pec so many times that without a bunch of spotters, I wouldn't even be able to get close to this amount of volume. I wouldn't even be able to get, 5 sets, let alone 16. I'm going to give a shout out to PT Yeager. He's the guy that's spotting me right now. He literally gives the best handoffs at the gym. And without him, I probably would have already strained another pec. And honestly, for me, the most important thing ever is having a good spotter on bench. Like, I can't unrack anything over 185, so having him there to help me out, it's like, all right, well, okay, now I can really feel confident about my bench and not feel like I might get injured if something goes wrong, because I kind of always know he's going to be there. So bench is going really well, and like I said, if you guys can tolerate more volume and more frequency on bench, I highly recommend it because immediately I've noticed the difference. So if we continue talking about the benefits of having a team and a community around you as you're lifting, deadlifting for me, I don't really need anybody to help me out. It's nice if they're there, but it's not as fatiguing of a movement as I think squats and bench are. It's a lot more technical for me. Everything needs to be perfect, but I don't think anyone can really help me out on that. But on squats, it really does help. You need spotters, and you want to make sure you don't fall and stuff like that. So having a team with just helps you in that regard. I don't know, maybe you guys find that it helps to have people around when you're deadlifting. Maybe you don't know exactly what you're doing, and that team aspect kind of helps to improve your form or something. But for me, I've been really crafting my deadlift and crafting the skill of deadlifting for a while, and it's a really personal thing between me and my coach, and I don't think anyone else could really help me with that. So here's another set of bench. The quality went to crap. I don't know exactly what happened. I have to play around with my camera settings, but this was 195 by 10. Something I've noticed is that as I do more volume on bench, like sets of 10 versus sets of 3, my form is just vastly different, and it's something noticeable, and I don't really like it, actually. I'd rather do like 10 sets of 3 because my form's a lot more consistent the lower the reps, because with bench you need to make sure you're tight all over, just like in all the movements. But especially if you're trying to deal with like a pec injury, if you don't have that tightness, you might be risking something that you don't need to. So here's my last set on squats. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm still getting used to raw squatting. Yeah, I have some knee valgus on my squats. I was supposed to work up to a top set of 3 at 9 and then drop 5%, continue till 9, but I messed that up a little bit. But I told these people specifically to watch me because without people around me squatting, it's really easy for me to just get in my head and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, so yeah, it's just really important for me to have a good team around me. And if you don't have a team around you, or if you're in the Columbus area and you want to get a team around you, come to Columbus Lifting Company. It's a great gym, and I guarantee you'll enjoy it. But if you're not in the area, then find a gym that you can support and with people that support you. And I guarantee you're going to improve on all your lifts within the next year. So that's all I have to talk to you guys about today. As always, I encourage you all to rise from within. Peace.